but I'm not broken. Battered, but not broken. Battered, but
I'm slowly going down. You beat me to the ground. I'm battered but not broken. The world is so cruel, like a criminal breaks a rule.
Welcome to Cynthia Wilson's Battered But Not Broken.
You're like a temporary stain that will one day wash away.
Here in Charleston, West Virginia, August 24th and 25th, 2012, and preparing to go on a 50-city national tour.
Battered but not broken.
They can expect to see a very inspirational message concerning domestic violence. We do get the statistics out concerning the issue behind domestic violence, but it encompasses a lot of comedy in the play, and they can expect to see a performance unlike they've ever seen before in Charleston.
The world is so cruel, like a criminal breaks a rule.
I am born and raised here in Charleston, West Virginia, and I wanted to do something to bring focus to our city, the great state of West Virginia. It was important to me to do it here, to use some local actors here in Charleston, and to dedicate this to all the women and children affected by domestic violence. Well, I was in a relationship, a marriage, if you will, for several years, going through domestic violence, and I thought that it would be a good idea if I finally broke the silence against domestic violence in order to help a lot of other women, children, and men going through the same issue. Shelly Garrett is the famous playwright, producer of many shows featuring Beauty Shop and Barber Shop and a host of other plays and movies, Hair Show with Monique, and we got in contact with Shelly Garrett, and he seen the outstanding writing in this particular play that we're doing, and he thought that he could bring to the table a lot of things in the way of producing, directing, and managing the play in Charleston.
The world is so cruel, like a criminal breaks a rule.
Well, we have a lot of local actors, which was very important to me, and of course Shelly Garrett, being Shelly Garrett, has a lot of connections with a lot of movie stars, so he got in contact with some of his fellow actors, and they decided to come on board because of Shelly. They're going to be here in our great state. Well, we decided that we couldn't just have a play for 2 hours where all we talked about was a taboo subject such as domestic violence. And Shelly, being a genius comedic writer, thought that it was important that we have some comic relief, and I was absolutely in concordance with that. So he injects into the play his great ability to make people laugh while getting out these statistics concerning domestic violence.
But not broken, yeah.
Because I think that if you have laughter in any situation, it will further evoke conversation in a positive light and not just pound information into people, but when they can laugh, they also are open to want to speak about it further. I think that batters should come because they're also people that have made wrong choices, and that doesn't mean that we should forget about them. I think that they should come in order to see how their actions hurt the people that they love the most, their children, the woman in their lives. And I think that this is a situation where they can also, receive help in a way that's theatrical, in a way that's entertaining, and maybe something in the play will spark change in their behavior as it is currently. I think that they should come because it is a wake-up call. Since I have written the play, I have received numerous telephone calls as well as hits on Facebook telling me that, I was their hero and that they thanked me for finally putting a face to domestic violence, one that they could relate to. And I think that that's also true of other people. that if you are being battered, you're not alone, that there are other people who understand. It's not something that you should be ashamed about. Yet we give you information that will help you to escape domestic violence with your life. I think that the greatest value for me in writing this is absolutely for the young people. I think that, so oftentimes young people get into relationships way before they are mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually ready. And if they would come to see how this gets started, it doesn't just start when they're in their 20s, but if they have been privy to domestic violence situations, they can see then how it further perpetuates in them as they get older. And it is a tool in this play that will show them how they're chosen, how they are, in a situation that they may not be able to get out of because they just don't know how, and we give them the answers in this play. The main character in the play is Justina Blessing. And as a child, her mother is in a relationship with an abusive man. And although he's not abusive to her, she then grows up and is attracted to what her mother has set the precedence for her to be attracted to. And I think that Justina, although she tries to avoid the situation of being in the same relationship as her mother was, it's inevitable because we as parents set the precedence for what our children will expect later on. So she meets a young man in college and they start to date, and until there is something that triggers him, because he's also a product of an abusive household, they get together and it's oil and water. It doesn't mix. But she is methodical in her thinking and she is very wise in trying to get out, and she accomplishes that. My ultimate goal is that people will see that there has to be a change. I want the play to be as a tool for people to actually see their lives played out in live theater, and that after they see who they are and not who they pretend to be, that it will evoke change in women, children, and men, and that when they leave the play, they will seek help, and that we will begin to change the numbers in the statistics as they are today.
You said that you always would love me.